Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to be here and to share with you my vacation makeup bag. So right after I share a quote, I will go ahead and jump into the video. So Georgia Dare said, "Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear." And I honestly think that is pretty true. If you have ever seen an entrepreneur that you looked up to, a lot of times they will admit that what they were thinking of doing was kind of scary for them, but they just took the leap and they did it anyway. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't always work out to do your own business. But a lot of times I think that if you feel so deeply and so passionately about something, how can you not help but try it? And so I just wanted to let you guys know that that's why I'm here doing this channel. It's because I'm very passionate about makeup and about empowering people who want to just feel special and unique and beautiful by doing makeup, and also people who just love it as an art form, because that's something that I love about it too, is that to me it is such a fun way of expressing art and expressing my personality and just being creative. So anyway, I just hope in some way this helps to inspire you, and without further ado, let's jump into the video. The first item I wanted to share with you for my travel makeup bag is the Equate Makeup Remover Cleansing Towelettes. And honestly, I just think that most of the time when I'm on vacation, I don't have time or the desire to do my full-fledged makeup and even face cleansing routine like I would normally do at home. So I think that these are a good thing to have if you're on vacation. I've heard a lot of people say like only do this in case of emergency, because sometimes they do make it harder for moisturizer to penetrate into the skin. So do keep that in mind, but I do generally do that on vacation. And speaking of moisturizer, I love the Olay Regenerist Micro-Sculpting Cream, and honestly I have very sensitive skin and a lot of stuff breaks me out, but this is one of the few products as far as moisturizers go that does not break me out. So I think it is a good one to try, especially if you have sensitive skin. And moving on, really quick, I wanted to mention that I'm trying to do this in the order in which I generally use these products. So I like to let my moisturizer really sink into my skin as much as possible, and then that's when I will go ahead and do my brows. And first I like to just give them a little tweeze if I really feel that's necessary. And then I go ahead and use my Wet n Wild Retractable Brow. And I know I have mentioned this so many times, but honestly, it's just so easy to use, and I feel like, you know, if you're needing something that is really budget friendly, it's a great option. Also, this is the Maybelline Master Prime Hydrate and Smooth Primer, and I just love this primer. I honestly think that it is one of my favorite primers currently. And if you have oily skin though, I might recommend going with something that says mattifying. But if you have dry skin, this will probably feel so good on your skin, because that's how it is for me. And just try it out and see if you like it. But I really do recommend primers even on vacation, because when you're out in the hot sun, you don't want your makeup sliding all over, getting into your eyes and whatnot. And now let's talk about foundation. I love the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the dewy and smooth version, but they also have a matte and poreless, and I've heard so many people rave about that one as well. So, you know, if you have oily skin, you will probably want to try that one. And if you have dry skin, you will probably enjoy this one. And I will say this is a more sheer coverage, sheer to light coverage, but it is a little bit buildable, and I think it's kind of one of those situations where it still looks like your skin but better, and I just really enjoy it and recommend it. Now moving on to, speaking of, I always will take the Wonder Blender on Vacation. These you can get online from Shop Miss A, and they are $1. Of course, shipping is $5, so again, you would probably want to go in on it with someone or just stock up all at once. But that being said, you know, if I took a beauty blender on vacation, I'd be really concerned about losing it because those are $20 a piece. So I just really recommend having these on hand, and these are awesome. So yeah, I hope if you haven't tried that out that you go ahead and do that. And then I generally like to do, sorry, I forgot to mention, sometimes I do my foundation first and sometimes I don't. But if you want to allow your primer to sink in, then you can go ahead and use your eyeshadow first. And I like to use the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted eyeshadow, scented eyeshadow palette. Again, I really love this palette, and I feel like it has so many good colors in it, and it's just so easy to get lots of different looks. And I will just tell you that if I'm trying to do like a 5-10 minute look, I generally just take like this transition shade or this transition shade, and then maybe this shade right here, and I put the first transition shade higher on my eyelid and then the other one more in my crease, and then I usually just put something like this matte pink on the lid. Also, forgot to mention that I would generally go in with the full shadow brush and set my eyes with the white. So yeah, that is pretty much what I do on vacation if I just really don't want to spend a lot of time. But if you want to spend a little bit more time, let's say you end up going out to dinner or something while you're on vacation, then I feel like this palette definitely has a way to have that look as well. So you can be really simple or go full glam if you wanted to. Now, speaking of eyeshadows, I wanted to mention the tools that I use. I mentioned the full shadow brush, but these are my Luxie brushes, and I just love this brush right here because it has a very nice blending brush, and then this one has a nice flat shadow brush as well, and this one has a much thinner flat tip brush that is great for using your setting spray and putting on, you know, the sparklier shades. So those are literally the only 3 brushes I think you need if you're going on vacation for eyeshadow. Now moving on to more of the face makeup, I love the NYX HD finishing powder, and this one is in the shade Translucent. I know it looks white, but actually when you put it on top of the skin, it's really translucent. Maybe if you had deep skin tones, this might not work, I'm not sure. But honestly, I've tried so many powders and hardly any of them I can put on my dry skin without them just really making everything look crinkly and dry. But this is the one powder I have found that does not do that. So I really recommend it. Also, I think if you have oily skin, this would work for you too. So I just think it's a good all-over powder to have. And if you are oily, generally powders like that, you can go ahead and just get your brush and, you know, pat it onto the oily areas throughout the day if you need to. Alright, moving on to bronzer. Of course, my favorite butter bronzer is right here, and honestly, I sometimes forget that there is a mirror in here, but there is, and so if you are on vacation and you don't want to pack an extra mirror, do remember that both the butter bronzer and the butter blush have mirrors in them. So speaking of blush, this is obviously my go-to blush. I love it. I think it stays on pretty well and it goes on so easily that it's what I take in my bag. And for highlight, not everyone feels the need to do highlight on vacation. I do love highlight because I honestly feel like it's something I really enjoy doing. So I love the Master Chrome highlight by Maybelline. It's just one of my favorites. And this color is just so pretty that yeah, it's really fun. And if I'm having a day where I just feel like my skin looks dull and boring, this is fun to just kind of put a little bit on my cheekbones and call good. Now, for my brushes for my face really quick, I will show you that. So this is my blush brush, sorry. I believe it is Me. That's the brand. I got it from Ipsy, so I don't know where to get those online. I'm sorry, but it is a nice, soft, fluffy brush. Then the Eco Tools Define Brush. It comes in a set with this highlight brush as well, and so I generally use this one right here for both setting the face with my translucent powder and then going in with my bronzer, because I usually do set my face first, and then if you feel like you need to go back in later with translucent powder, then I recommend taking the color cleaner, especially because this makes it so you can use your eyeshadow brushes in lots of different colors. So this is a staple as well. But anyway, back to this, I just feel like, you know, you can use it for so many things because of its shape and just how it is. So I recommend just, this is pretty simple. I literally only take 6 brushes with me, and that is all I really need. So yeah, that's what I recommend there. The other tool that I do take is my eyelash curler. For me, that's kind of a very necessary step because my eyelashes like to curl down like that. And it honestly actually gets down to where I can see them in my vision, and it bothers me, so I have to do something about it. And last but not least, let's talk about my 3 final finishing products right here. So I have the finishing spray. This is the L'Oreal Infallible finishing spray, and I think it does a really good job at really locking your makeup into place. So if you just don't want your makeup to start melting off, I think this does a pretty good job even when it's hot, especially for a drugstore. I mean, of course, if you have like the Urban Decay all-nighter spray, that stuff is amazing. But, you know, if you are on a budget, then I suggest that one. And then also, I love the Hard Candy Plumping Serum for just a nice moisturizing gloss. And then my L'Oreal Lash Paradise. They also have this in waterproof, so if you're going to be doing water activities, you could pick that one up. But I just feel like it's one of the mascaras that doesn't flake and it doesn't fall all over and it just stays put, and it's really good like that. So that pretty much wraps this video up. I really hope you enjoyed it and that was very helpful for you, and let me know in the comments if you have stuff that you like to take on vacation and what it is, and I would love to hear about it. So share that down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!